Hey girls, so some of you may or may not have noticed that there are new recipe books down the bottom. So originally down the bottom, the girls that are doing the nutrition, you would have had what would it say? I think it says like week 1 to 4 plans, and then week 5 to 8, week 9 to 12, 12 to 16, I think it was off the top of my head. Anyway, I have made some changes to how we're gonna, track and log and do things in here, just to make it as easy as I can for you guys. Again, I always say I want it really, really simple for everything that we do. And I was finding that with the meal plans that we're in here, they may have been, too high in calorie for some of you, or just not suited. So basically what I've done, I've taken every one of those meals that was in the meal plans, and they are now separate meals. And then every single meal that I had on those recipe books that were in the app too, they are all separate meals as well. So what you can do now, you'll be able to go into breakfast, you'll be able to go to lunch, dinner, snacks and dessert. And there's hundreds and hundreds of recipes in there. And they're not like shitty, generic, American recipes where it doesn't make sense or you don't have half the ingredients. Some of the things may look American, like the capsicums I can only put in as bell peppers, but it's got a picture. We all know what a bell pepper is. But they're all proper Australian ingredients from, like Woolies or Coles or whatever it is. So they're proper recipes in there now. So what you can do, I'm going to screen record and I'm going to talk you through how it works now. But you have access to all of the meal plans at once basically now, and you can pick and choose. So say you're someone who has a calorie target set of 1600, I've got your protein, your fats, your carbs and all of that in there. You can jump into the breakfast section and go, okay, I want roughly a 300 calorie breakfast. Flick through and have a look at all of the options and go, oh, that overnight oats or whatever it is, that sounds really good. I'll add that. And then you can go into lunch and go, okay, well, I've had 300 of my 600 calories. So now I have 1300. I might have a 400 calorie lunch and then a 500 calorie dinner and then a couple 100 calorie snacks. And anyway, I'll pop it all in a screen recording so that you can see, but I'm hoping it makes it easier. And like I said, it's not all of the generic stuff. It's actually the meals that I have given to you guys. You just get more freedom of choice now. And you will also still be able to log everything in MyFitnessPal. So if you have things that you love to eat, meals that you love, recipes that you've saved, you can still do that. It's still all going to come through to this app. I can still see all of it. Every little thing that you log, I can see and I can give you the feedback on. But yeah, we just want to make it easier and suited to everyone. So any questions, let me know. What I'll do now is pop the screen recording so you can see, and then just pop anything you need below for me. I will try and explain this as best I can to you. Any questions that you have, just let me know. But this is your dashboard that you will have. Now down the bottom here, now you will see it says breakfast, lunch, dinner and snacks. So what you can do now, on this profile that I use, I've got 1780 here set as the calories. You're all going to have different calorie and macro amounts, but you'll be able to see it there where it says nutrition. So I can open up this breakfast recipe section here and I can have a flick through. Now, like I said, these are all the meals that were in the meal plans, plus hundreds more that were in the recipe book. So you can flick through and see what the options are. So there's lots and lots of overnight oats because they're nice and easy, and overnight Weet-Bix and things like that. You can pick and choose, whatever you think looks really good to you. You can open it up. You can have a look at the ingredients. You can see the macro breakdown here. You can see, things like this with the protein powders as well. You can use whatever protein powder you want with that. You don't have to go and buy this protein powder or anything like that. But you can see that it's just, your protein powder, your Biscoff, your bananas, all that kind of stuff. But have a flick through. Like I said, there's heaps and heaps and heaps of recipes in here for you to pick from. Find one that you like. So say that I like this overnight Weet-Bix with Biscoff, so I'll click log meal and then I will log that, and that will go through onto my dashboard. So I'll be able to see that there. I've used 375 of my 1780 calories. So next I'll go into lunch. Say I want something really easy because I've got to go to work the next day and I don't have time to cook or whatever it may be. I'll have a flick through. I'll look for something, maybe a little bit lower in calories so I can have a bit of a bigger dinner. Lots and lots of different, salads, lower calorie options, higher calorie options if you want to get a bit more food in. But say this turkey salad wrap, because I want nice and easy for tomorrow. I will log that in, and then that will go through to the dashboard as well. And then I can see that I've used 700, so I've got roughly about 1,000 calories left. So then I'll go into dinner. And I can have a look and go, all right, well, I've got about 1,000 calories left, so maybe I'll have a 600, 500, 600 calorie dinner. I'll have a flick through. So lots and lots of options in here. There's heaps of dinners and lunches in here as well, like heaps and heaps of options for you guys to look through and pick what you want. But say like this Oporto roll sounds delicious. So I will log that. Log, done. And then if I go back, I can see, right, I've got 1200 calories. So I can also click log meal here. So say I want to put in something like, whenever I'm logging a coffee, I just do McDonald's because it's pretty much standard for what it's going to be if you get it from a cafe. So McDonald's almond latte small. I'll type that in and I will wait for it to load. Sorry, I'm in the car at the moment and things aren't loading how I would like. There we go. So then I can add that in there and that will go into my calories as well. And then if I want to go into snacks, I can have a look at some of the snack options. So I want to bump my protein up a little bit. I might add in a Chobani yogurt tub. Like that can be, you know, any flavored yogurt. It doesn't have to be what's on there, but then you can log that meal and log. And then I'll go back and I'll see how much I have. So I've got about 200 calories left and I want to bump my fats up a little bit. So what I might do is maybe add in, you know, 10 mils of olive oil with the dinners that I'm cooking so that I can bump my fats up a little bit. And then I often eat golden kiwis as a snack. So I'll pop in a golden kiwi as a snack as well. And I'll log that. And then if I go back, I can see that, you know, I'm nearly there. I've hit my protein target. I'm a little bit below. Maybe I can go back in and I can go look at some more snacks and add in something small, maybe like this Cobb's popcorn or something like that. Log meal. Done. That's the serving size. So you can see it'll just give me 20 grams of Cobb's popcorn. And then I basically made up what I need there. So then when you open up this nutrition part, you can see I've got all of my food here. I've got a golden kiwi. I've got 20 grams of the Cobb's popcorn. I've got the olive oil. I've got my latte. I've got my yogurt. I've got my wrap. I've got my dinner. I've got my breakfast all logged in here, and I will be able to see all of this through the journal part on my end, and then I can give you the feedback on that. And then like I always say here, sorry, you can also say this was me yesterday in my own MyFitnessPal. So anything that you log still through MyFitnessPal, it will feed through to this same spot. So say that you love that breakfast and lunch and the snacks, but you want to add in your own dinner, you can still log that through MyFitnessPal. It'll all feed through to the same spot and I will be able to see it. Or just say, for example, like I always say to you guys, it's probably easier if we eat the same breakfast, lunch and snacks and swap our dinners around. So, you know, you've kind of got this plan here and say you're going to have that all week. You can go, okay, well, I'm going to have that all week, but then I know that I've got about 500 to 600 calories there for dinner. So I can go back into the dinner section and I can have a look at, you know, I could probably have that meat lovers pizza or the chicken pesto pasta salad or something like that. I could swap it out for that and change the dinners around. So I hope that all makes sense. These recipes in here, they're going to be updated every month. So more and more and more and more are going to keep getting added in here. And then, like I said, you can always save your favorite snacks. You can save your favorite recipes that you have in MyFitnessPal, and they can all feed through too. So any questions, please yell out and let me know. I hope that all made sense. I'm more than happy for all of us to jump on a live call if you want to and me to explain it a bit better. But it should just really ease the way that we're logging, and it should give you guys so much more freedom of choice when it comes to logging the foods in here.